Hi everyone, and thanks for joining us today. I'm Stevie Hook, Business Development Manager here at Landmark Estate Agency Services, and I'm joined by my colleague Aaron South, who is one of our fantastic customer success managers. Between us, we work closely with estate agents every day to support AML compliance and streamline onboarding. So, this is a topic we're both really passionate about. Today's session is part of our ongoing Compliance Corner series, and we'll be focusing on areas within an AML, and rightly so, because understanding how, when, and why to submit SAR is essential for protecting yourselves, your team, and your business. Here's what we're going to be covering in the next 10 to 15 minutes. So, what is a SAR and why it matters? Your legal obligations around reporting, common red flags to look out for, how and when to submit a SAR, and what happens after you do. We'll also touch on key risks like tipping off and how to avoid it. This is a short focus session which is being recorded, and we'll send out the full recording to you via email. So don't worry if you need to leave early or want to refer back to anything later. With that, let's dive into the first section. So, Aaron, what exactly is a SAR?
So, a suspicious activity report is a formal report that you submit to the National Crime Agency or NCA when you know or even just suspect that someone may be involved in money laundering or terrorist financing. And I really want to emphasise that suspicion alone is enough. You don't need hard proof. Your job isn't to investigate, it's to report what doesn't feel right. The NCA takes it from there. SARs are a powerful tool in tackling economic crime. They shine a light on activities that law enforcement might not otherwise see, especially in property, where we're often at the front of the transaction. The information you provide, whether it's client contact details, bank accounts, or unusual investment patterns, can help trigger new investigations or support existing ones.
Why do you need to submit a SAR? There are two key reasons. First, it's a legal obligation under UK money laundering regulations. Submitting SARs protects you, your agency, and the wider financial system from being abused by criminals. Second, and this is important, failing to submit a SAR when you have knowledge or reasonable suspicion of criminal activity could make you personally liable. That includes helping someone move criminal property even unknowingly or failing to act. The NCA's Financial Intelligence Unit, also known as the FIU, is the team that reviews all SARs submitted in the UK. They also collaborate internationally and retain reports for 6 years, building a bigger picture of criminal networks over time. So, when do you actually need to submit one?
So you would need to submit one as soon as you know or suspect that a person is involved in money laundering or terrorist financing. A transaction involves criminal property or the proceeds of crime, or the transaction could help someone acquire, retain, or control criminal property. And again, you're not being asked to prove it, you're flagging a concern. If something feels off and you can articulate why, you probably have grounds for a SAR. Let's dig into what those suspicious signs might look like, starting with client behaviour.
Red flags include clients who avoid giving clear answers about themselves or their funds, refusal to face meetings or are difficult to contact, are reluctant to provide documentation or provide inconsistent paperwork, have known criminal associates, or seem to have an unusual amount of knowledge about anti-money laundering processes. Then, looking at the source of funds, is the money coming in large cash payments, arriving from a third party with no explanation, coming from unusual lenders or offshore accounts, and finally, if we were to focus on the transaction itself.
Yeah, so you would watch for unusual transaction sizes, timing, or repayment terms, transactions that don't fit the client's known profile, urgent changes at the last minute or pressure to skip normal checks, or being asked to hold money in your client account without a clear reason. Any of these in isolation might not mean much, but together they could point to something more serious. Next, we'll look at how you submit a SAR.
The best and easiest way is through the NCA's SAR portal. It is available 24/7, and when you submit a report online, you get an immediate acknowledgement and reference number. That can be really helpful for your internal records. Submitting online also removes the need for paper-based reporting, which is more secure and efficient. If you absolutely can't submit online, you can still send a manual SAR, but just be aware it won't be acknowledged, so you won't know if it's received. If you haven't already, it is recommended you register your business via the portal. On the next slide, we'll have a quick overview on how you submit via this method.
So when submitting via the portal, you'll be asked to enter 9 things. So these are background information, main party, associated parties, glossary codes and alerts, threshold variation and reason for suspicion, suspicious transactions, DAML or DAFT, further information, and a final summary. Help sections are provided throughout, and the online form will guide you through the process and prompt you to enter as much of the information required as possible. Providing detailed information allows the NCA to process the details quicker. It is also on the portal where you'll be able to request a defence against money laundering. Prior to submitting, you'll have a final opportunity to review and amend your answers. It's strongly suggested you print this page prior to submitting, as once submitted, you will not have access to it. You will then receive instant acknowledgement, which includes your unique SAR reference number.
Once your SAR is submitted, the FIU at the NCA reviews it. They'll decide whether to act or to keep it on file as part of the bigger picture. Some reports are actioned immediately, others are stored for 6 years as part of the ongoing intelligence gathering. Now, here's the critical part. Do not continue with the transaction if you've requested a defence against money laundering and haven't received a response, and do not tip off any party involved. Tipping off means revealing or even implying that a SAR has been submitted or that someone is under suspicion. It is a criminal offence, even if it is accidental. This includes mentioning that legal checks are delaying things, acting differently in a way that arouses suspicion, or asking for extra documentation without a valid reason. If you've requested a defence against money laundering, the NCA has 7 working days to respond. If they refuse, a moratorium period of 31 calendar days begins. If they don't respond at all, you can proceed after 7 days, but not before. The golden rule: submit, stay silent, and wait for the NCA. You've done your part, now let them do theirs.
So when you submit a defence against money laundering as part of a suspicious activity report, the NCA can respond in one of 3 ways. Firstly, you might receive a granted or no refusal response. This means the NCA hasn't objected within the 7 working days after your submission. At that point, you're legally allowed to proceed with the transaction, and importantly, you're protected under the Proceeds of Crime Act or Terrorism Act. This gives you a formal defence against money laundering or terrorist financing charges. Secondly, the NCA may refuse your request. In this case, a 31 calendar day moratorium period begins, and during that time, you must not proceed with the transaction. The NCA might use this time to investigate further or even apply to extend the moratorium through the courts. If you go ahead anyway, it's considered a criminal offence, so the consequences are serious. Third, there's the silent or no response scenario. If you don't receive a refusal within the initial 7-day notice period, you're considered to have an implied consent. That means you can legally proceed, but only if you followed the correct procedures. As long as your SAR was complete, submitted promptly, and raised for valid reasons, you're protected. But just to be clear, this isn't the NCA endorsing the transaction, it's simply that they haven't objected within the timeframe. So the key takeaway here is, if you follow the correct steps and document your reasoning clearly, you're on solid ground whether you get a formal response or not.
If you're currently using Landmark Agent to onboard your clients, you're aware of the services included. If I've got anybody on the call who isn't a current client of ours and is interested to know a little bit more, We offer a client onboarding service, which you can see on screen here. All of our checks include your PEP and your sanctions, and you have the option to complete facial recognition checks so you can add anybody anywhere in the world. If you have any concerns with regards to your compliance and you would like a free health check, please feel free to drop us a message after the call. Using an electronic provider takes the stress out of AML compliance, reduces risks, and make things smoother for both you and your clients. At Landmark, we aim to make compliance easier and more efficient for you. Landmark Agent is designed to simplify the client onboarding process while ensuring you're always up to date with the regulations. No more bouncing between multiple platforms or manually entering data. You can run land registry checks, assess client risk, and apply the right due diligence all from one place. One of the key benefits of using Landmark Agent is the dedicated account support we offer. Whether you're facing a challenge or just need a bit of guidance, our team is here to help you every step of the way. We want you to feel confident that you're not just staying compliant, but doing so with ease and efficiency. We've built our platform around flexibility. With our pay-as-you-go model, you won't be locked into any contracts, so you can scale your usage and as your business needs change. Plus, we offer additional features to streamline your business operations, like monetizing client onboarding and gaining access to valuable property data, which can further enhance the services you offer. Whether you're looking to streamline your compliance processes, improve client onboarding, or access key property insights, Landmark Agent is here to support you.
Thank you so much for joining our webinar today. SARs might sound intimidating at first, but really they're about using your judgment and flagging what doesn't feel right. Again, no one's asking you to investigate, just to notice and report. Submitting a SAR protects you, your agency, and your clients, and it plays a crucial role in disrupting crime at its earliest stage. If you'd like support reviewing your AML processes or want help identifying red flags in your current caseload, just scan the QR code on screen and book in a quick chat with our expert team, as we're always happy to help. Thank you very much.